The Three Villages. Attard. The village of Attard is located in the center of Malta, close to Lija and Balzan. These three localities are similar in size and character, giving them the name of the Three Villages. Attard is famous for its citrus orchards and gardens. The motto of the village is Florigera Roses Halo, which means I perfume the air with my blossoms. It is the largest of the three villages, with a population of approximately 10,000 inhabitants. Attard is predominantly residential, but also comprises land which is still agricultural and even rural, whilst another part is recreational parkland with open gardens and national sport facilities. One of the most well-known landmarks in Attard is St. Anton Palace and Gardens. This magnificent villa is surrounded by lush gardens and was built between 1623 and 1636 by Grandmaster Antoine de Paul. He was French from the Langue de Provence and was elected the 54th Grandmaster of the Order of St. John in 1623. Most probably de Paul already had a villa in place, and when elected Grandmaster, he enlarged it to its present size. The villa was planned with generous proportions, so as to provide accommodation for guests and a large domestic staff. These included cooks, food tasters, torch-bearers, pantry boys, wig makers, a winder of clocks and physicians, as well as a baker to make black bread for feeding his hunting dogs. The Grandmaster named the villa Saint Antoine, after the patron saint Anthony of Padua. During the uprising against the French in 1798, the palace served as the headquarters of the Maltese leaders. Right outside the palace one can find the historic kitchen garden. It was once used as a harvest area by the knights, but now it is the perfect family outing, providing secure play areas for children and a cafeteria, restaurant for adults. The garden is home to several animals such as emus and donkeys. Other attractions in Attard include the parish church, built in 1613 and dedicated to the Ascension of Our Lady. Villa Bologna, the former residence of Lord Strickland, Prime Minister of Malta from 1927 to 1930. It is now owned by the de Trafford family. Gnin l'Station, a public garden with a children's play area. It was previously the old Attard train station, on the line which ran from Valletta to Rabat. The 17th century Winiaco aqueduct was constructed to supply Valletta with water from the higher ground around Rabat and Mdina, and it runs through Attard. The best preserved section of it in Malta so far is probably the one in Attard. Balzan. Balzan started out as a very small rural community made up of a few farms and country dwellings for the wealthy. These eventually increased, and Balzan became a parish in the 17th century. The village has approximately 4,000 inhabitants. Many of the traditional townhouses in Balzan still have back gardens with lemon, orange and tangerine trees. In fact, Balzan is well known for its beautiful gardens and citrus orchards. Balzan's motto is Hortibus undique septa, meaning surrounded by gardens. In Malta, many village names are derived from family names, as is the case of Attard and Lija. It is believed by some that Balzan inherited its name from a Sicilian family whose family name was Balzan or Balzano. Other historians claim that Balzan refers to a Sicilian tax collector that could have come to Malta to collect taxes for his Sicilian feudal master. This tax collector may have resided in Balzan, thus giving the village its name. The Balzan parish church is dedicated to Our Lady of the Annunciation, and the foundation stone was laid in 1669. Architectural plans for this church, in the shape of a Latin cross, began in 1665. In this church are found many artistic treasures, and it includes works by famous artists such as Giuseppe Cali, Chevalier Emvin Cremona and Paul Camilleri Cauchi. The titular statue is the work of Salvatore de Mec and was completed in 1898. During the Second World War, many townspeople from the heavily bombed harbour area moved to Balzan as refugees. Lija. Lija became a parish in 1594 after detaching itself from the neighbouring much larger town of Berkerkara. It is a relatively small village with a population of approximately 3,500 inhabitants and forms part of the three villages together with Attard and Balzan. This village still boasts many houses of character with large citrus gardens. The centre of the town is an urban conservation area, meaning that any development within this area has to ensure that the existing character is retained. Any structural works have to keep to the traditional and historical features that include wooden balconies, iron railings and carved stonework. Villa Francia, also known as Villa Preziosi and officially known as Palazzo Preziosi, is an 18th century villa and one of the finest examples of the Baroque style properties located in Lija. Built on 2 floors with front and back gardens, the villa is complete with a water wheel, coach room, stables and a large stretch of agricultural land. The villa is currently the official residence of the Prime Minister of Malta. Amongst other various landmarks that can be found in Lija, one finds the Baroque parish church dedicated to Our Saviour, which is adorned with priceless works of art by Cali and Mattia Preti. The village feast is celebrated in the first week of August and is famous for the magnificent fireworks displays which are reputed to be amongst the very best in Malta. Another important building includes the Lija Belvedere Tower, which was built in the 19th century as a folly within the gardens of Villa Gourjon, which belonged to Marquis de Piro. The official University of Malta residence is also located in Lija.